Hello again, everybody. This is Mr. Everything, and I'm coming at you with another one of my Star Citizen videos. This is part 2 of our Gamescom 2015 critique, and this one is of the Multicrew demo. Now, this is the press release video. I felt it was cleaner and was better to talk to you about than watching the live version, because the live version there is a lot of misplaced cameras, and there's a lot of commentary that is just Chris yelling at the camera operator to get to the right view or angle, and we don't need to worry about all that. And I understand the difficulties of an actual live stream, but this was actually a cleaned up version. This is the press release. And what we're going to see here in this video is pure awesome. That's what we're going to see. You're just going to see nothing but an awesome example of what might happen in the persistent universe. All right, and it's all live in engine with players moving the guys around. It's not it is scripted, but it's not programmed AI doing this. It's actually players moving their characters around in the engine. Okay, so that's cool. If you haven't already gone back and seen my first video, the social module, go ahead and go watch that real quick. It's pretty short. It shows the ARC core landing zone and things like that. And I talk a little bit about zones and instances and my view. Now, there's going to be positive and negative comments, so don't be offended if I say something sucks, okay? Because I have my beliefs, and deal with it. All right, so here we go. Let's watch this video. Now, I might pause. This is a very short video. This is like a 13-minute video that we're going to watch. But I'm going to make it longer because I might pause something to kind of point something out, or I might back up to kind of re-show something as we go. So here we go. Let's start this thing, and I'm going to do commentary as we go. All right, so you wake up in a room and you put your helmet on, and looking around, he goes and opens the door to his room, so you know now where you're actually located. Check that out. You are on a space station, and you are looking out into space. And there goes looks like a Gladius goes flying by. Your room looks pretty dirty, like you need to clean it up. And he heads towards the meeting area, and there's other players standing around waiting for him. He decides to look out the window. Very epic. This space station was, for me, this is my first glimpse at this space station. It must be a Crusader space station, or maybe it's a space station over the planet Crusader, which Crusader is one of the planets in the Stanton system, which would be next to ARC core, right? Because ARC core is one of the planets in the Stanton system. Now, this is like a airport. It's telling you this leads to pads 1 and 2. He opens it up, and there is an airlock. Okay, now we're taking a look at the spacesuits that these guys are wearing, the medium armor or light armor or whatever they're wearing. It's a little bit different than what we've seen in the past. It doesn't have the little jet nozzles on the back, and it looks a little bit more flight ready to me. Okay, I don't know if this was when they cycled the airlock, depressurization, depressurize. So now you know you're in vacuum. And then they go out onto the gangway, I guess is what you would call it, to the landing pads. And these guys are all just walking along, friendlies, cruising along. They're not carrying weapons or anything. They don't need it because they're not getting ready to get into a gunfight. But you know what? If it was me and the First Royal Aerospace Squadron, everybody here would be packing heat. I mean, we would all have our weapons out the wazoo, Okay, so there's a couple of ships out here. You got the Gladius, you got a Cutlass, and you have something else too, a Super Hornet, I do believe. And so these 6 gentlemen, 6 players, they call them Red 1 through Red 6. like 4 of them get into the Cutlass, which is new. Now there's an actual instance created inside the Cutlass, and you can see outside the Cutlass from within. And you can sit and prepare for your travel. So that was a new technology. They stated that the inner zones were actually working on the ships. Okay, and then one of them gets into the Super Hornet, one of them gets into the Gladius, and they take off. And these are the new models of the ships, I've noticed, because in one of the ships in this demo, there was a modification to the ship that I recognized from an updated version of the ship, so that's not actually available in anyone's hangar at this time. Okay, so their ships all power up, they glance around, they're working as a team, they're getting ready to go do something, they have a mission, and you notice the space station is still spinning while they're getting ready, so everything's still moving. Now they decide to take off. There goes a Cutlass, there goes a Super Hornet, and there's a Gladius around there somewhere. And they fly off. And so far, all of this is really cool, just graphic-wise. The new technology that you've seen so far is the multiple people getting into the Cutlass and having an instance. And when it flies, they actually showed in the live stream the guy spinning the ship. Now they're entering quantum travel. That guy in front of them just disappeared, and that's him. Going to the next system, or next world, or moon, or something in this system. Just flew past a moon, and he's going to the next world that has an asteroid field around it. And then he stops and exits. And his ship is now detecting other ships in the area, and there's one in the asteroid field. And his friends will appear, and they'll appear on his screen too. In just a minute, they'll all just pop in. There's one that just popped in. That was someone using quantum travel just arrived, and then there should be another one. And they're trying to maneuver in closer to this. Looks like an Aegis Retaliator. It has no power, and there's the guy in the upper right-hand corner who just popped in. And there's a Cutlass with the 3 guys in the back and the 1 pilot, and the pilot says, okay, we're ready, let's go ahead and drop the ramp and let's EVA. Drop the ramp, there's the Retaliator right there, and they just jump out and do some EVAing over to this Retaliator that's just parked out in the asteroid field, which is cool. You'll notice that there is some damage to this Retaliator. When they get there, you'll see turrets are blown off, hatches are blown open. Okay, now this hatch appears to be open, but that's because there was a guy that went in front of him that opened it and went in. He's actually the second guy. Look at that. Look at that entry. Nice. 0G inside. They need to get some power going. So one of the guys heads to the back side of the ship, and that's the second guy coming in. The first guy's watching him. He goes to a gun turret which has been blown off that actually leads towards the engines, and there's the engine panel right there in front of him. And so he goes to the engine panel, or I should say, well, maybe not. Maybe it's down one of these hallways here. The flashing red light there. And he opens that panel, and there is some things he has to do in there to re-energize the ship, basically. Pull, turn, and reinsert. I don't know. What did that do? But it's cool. It makes you have to actually do something, to turn the gravity back on, the power back on. Okay, and then someone goes to the engineering. Well, actually, he's going to the other side, to the second engine nacelle. And he's going to basically do the same thing to get the power back on. Gravity and all that. Super cool, right? Now that's the engineering station. That's near the Bombay, the rear Bombay door, and he opens that up. And so far, I haven't needed to pause this video. He climbs into the front. You recognize all that, and you notice now it's diegetic. It's all on the displays. Look at that. Okay, the displays light up. That's cool. Right, and then You got the ships flying around on the outside. Gun turrets. That was the lower gun turret. You get in and it actually rotates down, like it flips back. And he's upside down when he goes into the bottom turret. His head is downward. And the upper turret, it's traditional. You just go straight up into it. So the guy on the bottom is actually upside down, a lot like the Millennium Falcon. All right, now a constellation pops in. Here's the constellation. It's coming in. It was sent on the same mission to recover this Retaliator. So now, luckily, this crew here, the Red 1 through 6, had actually gotten there first, got the Retaliator powered up and juiced up, but they don't have a Cutlass. Nobody's on their Cutlass, which I think is kind of odd. I think they would have put like one person in to fly the Cutlass back, but maybe they just deviate all 4 people over. They were planning on putting one person back on the Cutlass, but the Constellation had something else to think about that. Little fight scene ensuing, going to ensue here with the Gladius and the Super Hornet, a Cutlass. Well, not much of a Cutlass. The Retaliator is actually engaging, and there's one of the. I think that's the upper turret. I don't know, because when you flip over and go down to the turret, it kind of looks the same. And the Constellation Shields is rocking. That was awesome. Yeah, notice how there's 4 quarters of the shield, three sections of the shield were down. That was cool. Same thing with the. There's actually a player in the engineering room there. Okay, he's probably in the lower turret. There are players in the engine room. In the Retaliator, he's actually managing the engines and the shields and the weapons. You don't see a video of that right now, but in the live stream you did see it. So if you want to go back and watch it, that's him right there. But it didn't show you what he was doing. But in the live stream, it actually shows him turning certain weapons off and stuff like that to conserve energy. And he turned something off by accident, so they couldn't fire their missiles. There was all kinds of mistakes, but it was fun because then you learned quite a bit about it. Just the Constellation. So their Cutlass has been destroyed, but now they have a Retaliator. And they are gonna they're going to quantum leap. They call it leap, not jump. Jump is between systems. So they're gonna quantum leap back home to their space station and call it a day, right? Everything that you've noticed in this live stream or this video has been what we pretty much expected, isn't it? I mean, this is but finally we get to actually see it actually working, and we can see that they are just that much closer to getting that in our hands. I am so excited to have my Retaliator fly and have maybe some friends fly with me, and and there's landing pad 3 and 4. It looks like they're going in to land, and then up there we got 5 and 6. That's pretty cool. 1 and 2 is probably on the other side, Excuse me. Space station's rotation and stuff. That's just, and this is the first time I've really seen this space station. And look how massive that space station is. And I thought, dang, somebody's been hard at work. I want to give credit to whoever's been working on that space station, because they've done a great job on that. I was just super impressed with that. I'm not so impressed with asteroids or pictures of planets or gas fields or whatever, because all that's kind of just artsy-fartsy stuff. But when it comes to actually making a 3D model of something that you can actually play in, that takes a lot of extra work. There's probably a whole team of guys that make this space station. It's probably Squadron 42, I'm guessing. Okay, now I don't know if you noticed. Let me back this up. I'm going to back the video up just a hair, because because I want to show you something. The doors. I didn't even back it up enough. Okay, right there. Whoa, I could have paused it right there. Dang it. Okay, the elevator doors are different on this Retaliator than what you're familiar with. They don't open from the sides. It opens from the bottom. See, you've got a. Can you see my mouse on this video? You might be able to. That thing right there folds up. It doesn't have a door here that hinges out, and which I am super excited about, because that door that hinges out actually blocked traffic, and you got two of them. It completely blocks everything. But with the door here that lays flat and then raises up, kind of like a ramp, that makes more sense. And then these guys get off and they go, oh, look at our Retaliator, we're so awesome. And then something else happens. They're looking up at the Retaliator in the moonlight, or the sun, I should say. And then look at that! Then Idris. I think that's an Idris, right? Or is that a javelin? Oh, that's an Idris flying over. Kind of like giving you a clue that, yeah, the capture of the Idris is going to be coming soon. All right, so I don't really have a whole lot of negatives to say, other than nothing. I'm totally excited about it. I mean, this is exactly what I envisioned. This is what I thought was going to happen. You know, we're going to have players, we're going to get into the same ship, we're going to fly off to a planet, we're going to get out and we're going to do our thing, and you know, but repairing the ship and getting it fully functional and operational was a little too easy in my because if it was that easy, why didn't the crew that was on it do that? You know, why didn't they just go back there and turn the little thing? So there, to me, I would think that maybe the crew needed to bring a power cell with them to replace, or bring the proper tools and equipment to repair something, not just walk up to a panel and push a couple of buttons and now the ship works again. Because the crew that was on the ship, they could have done that. All right, so that was like the only thing that I have a critique on this one about. All right, well, thanks for coming out and checking out this video. And check out my last video. It's going to be on the FPS demo that they did. And, oh, goodness gracious. Oh, I got a lot to say about that. All right.